Today I want to show you how to install this 3-dimension stone. I want to watch the process step by step of how to install this stone. If this is something that you're interested of learning how to do, in today's video I'll go through step by step in details of how to do this. With no further ado, let's dive right into the video. So I will be installing the stone right onto my foundation ledge. As you see here, I already done my preparation that we need to do. We install, this is a weeping plastic, a piece of flashing, normally install right onto our foundation ledge just before we start our installation of our stone or our bricks. Once we install that, we also follow by taping up our seam with our tuck tape. So the blue one here is usually what we use for exterior. If you come over here, you have an idea of what we're going to do there. We're going to install a piece of sill, same way like we did here. And we're going to bring up our stone right up to the top, just like you see we did here. Go right across our garage door. And also we're going to come over here as well. Going to install stone right along here. Go right around. Stone going to be right onto that one, go all the way up as well. Let's dive into it. So the first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to take a measurement for the sill that's going to go here. I'm going to measure the total measurement minus 1/4 inch space for beside our door. So here is 1 feet 9 inches and a half. We're going to cut it 1 feet 9 inches. 1 feet 9 inches. So level our sill. Now I'm just checking to make sure that we have proper slope. Also you want to check to make sure that this 1/4 inch you have 1/4 inch here, 1/4 inch over this side. I'm just gonna check for measurement. 6 1/4 over here, 6 over here. So we need to go in here 1/4 inch over this side. Beautiful. Now I need to measure from the back of the wall 4.5 inches right out to the outer edge. This way we have a 1 inch cavity space at the back of the wall. It's very important. I'm just gonna put a level and mark that right across. Now installing brick tiles, you always want to put the nail in the last hole in the bottom of the brick tile. As you see, you have a hole at the top and you have a hole at the bottom here. Ideally you want to put your nail in the last hole in the bottom. Beautiful. There's a pattern that we have to follow here. We're going with a big, medium, small, then we're just gonna keep repeating that over again. Big, medium, small. That's the pattern that we're going all the way up with. So at the bottom here, I'm just putting my stone right down to the bottom of the mark that we have, just to make sure that we have our 4.5 inches from the wall. I'm just gonna level my stone. Beautiful. I also want to check over here just to make sure that I have my 1/4 inch space from my caulking right beside my garage door. Now that I check and see that I have my 1/4 inch, now we're going to measure from this stone here. I'm going to measure from the outside of the sill. Put my tape onto the sill. And we're going to minus around 3/8 joint for our edge joint here. So we're going to go 1 feet 2 inches and a half is what I'm going to cut the stone that we need to go here. So I'm checking right now to make sure that my stone is 100% plumb. Right there is where she's plumb. You want to put your level across just to make sure that both stone are touching onto your level. That way you know that they're straight in line with each other. You also want to check over here to make sure that you're maintaining your 1/4 inch space as you go up on either side of the stone. So here we need to get a slicker piece of, and we need to fill inside of our joint here. One thing I want to do here before I continue, I want to run a line from that end that's already installed all the way over to the other end, just to make sure that this wall here in the middle is in line with the two outer walls. So we're going to put a string line right across. So for now I have here a spikes or a nail. I'm going to use this nail, drive it right over there in the corner, measure 4.5, and I'm going to run it all the way to the wall that's already finished, just so that way we know that after we install that wall 4.5, we should be able to have the middle and the two outer side in line with each other. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So right now we're at 4.5 inches. After finish, it should look something like this. As you see here, we make a connection right onto the outer edge of the outer end of this wall that's already built. Over there, that wall haven't built as yet, but what I did over here, I put a nail right into my stud, measure 4.5 inches from the wall right out to the outer edge where my wall gonna be later on, and I run my line right across, connect it with that wall that's already built, so that way we know that this wall is in line with both the outer side wall that's already built and that wall that's needed to build later on. So this wall, if you see right now, it's just a fraction away from the line. That's where we need it to be. We don't want our stone to touch the line, but we want to make sure that it's right on. That's how we're going to continue it up now. Once we continue to have this wall plumb as we go up, we know that this wall and that wall and also this wall are all going to be in line with each other. It's very important because once you go across your garage, you want to make sure that all the wall connect with each other. So it's very important not to skip this step. Make sure that you string a line across just to check to make sure, because some guy would probably go and measure 4.5 from here and they would probably leave it. Sometimes it works like that, but in some case the wall can twist and you don't have it straight across later on when you go above your garage. So it's very important to run your line just to pre-check to make sure that you're right on. I'm gonna go back and check to see if I'm plumb. I just want to tap in a little bit. So on top of this one we need to put a medium. I am going to put this piece here. Just make sure that you have your 1/4 inch as you go up. You're going to find I repeat a lot. That's the way I like to teach. I find some people brain works better like that. Their brain tend to retain the information more faster when I repeat. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna be repeating a little bit as I go in the video. If you don't like it, leave it in the comment and I'll try avoid doing it later on up in my next video. So now we need to take a measurement for this piece that's gonna go here. What you need to do, you need to measure from the outside stone, because remember that we already have our 1/4 inch here established. So we need to measure from here minus the joint, which will be 5 inches. Gonna check the level. Also want to check to make sure that both of them are in line with each other. Plumb, make sure that they're plumb. Here, later on we're gonna fill our joint here again. Now it's calling for a small one on top. So to butter your face of your stone, you want to paste it just like you a butter onto a loaf of bread. Paste the front like that. You go slant like you're drawing it down, just like you see I'm doing it here. And guys, if you're getting value from this video so far, go ahead and give your boy Ryan a thumbs up, just so that it helps the algorithm to recognize the video, so that way you can share it to more viewers like yourself, people who want to learn and come on into the trade. So this measurement here is 8 3/4. Make sure that over. Now I'm using a federal white cement mixed with all-purpose sand. So you go up, you just want to check for plumb, sure that she's nice and plumb. We're going to install a few brick ties here. So we're going to bend our brick tie right in the middle on a 90. Put it right to the corner here. Usually once you have a window or a door, it should be a stud there. A stud is what you want to install your brick tie into. You don't want to just install it into your ply, because you want to make sure that this brick tie is embedded properly into the stud on the inside. This brick tie is what you're going to use to hold the wall in place when they're dry. If you notice, I put the nail in the last hole at the bottom of the brick tie. It's very important to put your nail in the last hole rather than put it up top here. And that's it. As you see here, I put a brick tie right across here just to kind of strengthen my joint. You didn't have to do this, but if you know your boy Ryan, you know I like to go a little bit of extra mile just to make sure that we have the durability of the job and make sure that it's long lasting. You know how it is. As you go up, you want to try avoid having a lot of mortar drop at the back of your wall, because you don't want to block up the space. Later on, we're going to make a hole right down in the bottom down here, so that way we can have the water escape if there's any water were to go inside behind your wall later on. You want to stay away from this edge joint here at least 4 inches. So if you were to put a stone here, then that would break one of the rule. You want to stay away at least 4 inches from this joint, just like you see I have here. 4 inches or more is what would be accurate for a proper installation. Oh shit. So that's not what's supposed to go there. We're supposed to put a medium. Thank you for your help to point that out. It's gonna be a medium right there. I know we need to measure, so you want to come back and measure from the outside edge here right over to where your stone gonna be, which should be 1 feet 1 inches and 3/4. As you go up here, it's very important to check to make sure that you're maintaining your 1/4 inch space on either side of your garage door. Now when installing such a small wall like this, you want to use as much brick ties as possible, because as you see, if you probably shake it, it's probably going to be, seems to be a little bit weakening, because it doesn't have a corner to help to hold the tension of the wall. So put as much brick ties as possible. It only take 2 seconds. Okay, so now we're gonna do some joints. Here I have a jointer. This jointer you can get at your local building supplier or mason supplier. Usually you do your head joint first, and then you do your bed joint. Just like you'd go these ones first. Just like you see I'm doing it here. All the head joints. Once you finish that, you do your bed joint, which would be these ones. Now the jointing is very important for you to take your time and get it right. Doing a good joint can make a bad job look good. So take your time and make sure that you put in an extra 5 minutes or 10 into your joint. Make sure you get the corners. You come around, you get this corner here. You go this way with your jointer. You go in with your jointer. You come out in just like this. Come back out, kill the hedge. Just like you see I'm doing it here. Your chicken getting a lot of calls, a lot of contracts is to do quality work. So if you're watching this video hoping to get into the trade, want to be as busy as Ryan, the only trick Ryan used over the years is to do quality job. No short corner, no side step. Your only option is to get the job done right once and for all. If you're not doing it good or right, don't take it. It doesn't matter the cost of what you're charging to do the job. It's better you walk away rather than go there and tarnish your career. In order to maintain your legacy, you want to always do a good job. Yeah, so you just want to go to kill the outer hedge. The trick is just to do a good job, guys. Do quality work. So we finished to do our joint. The next step after this would be to brush your wall. You would get a brush like this and you would go over it just like so. Brush your wall. You want to make sure that it's dry properly, because if it's not dry properly, it's gonna leave a haze effect on your stone. And you don't want that. So you want to make sure that your stone is dry properly. Now, I only brush it for demonstration purpose. Usually I would leave it until the end of the day if I were installing stone right up onto this wall. But it's dry enough because I make my mortar a bit tight. As you see here, it's pretty dry. So it's brushable. But if you're doing this, you want to make sure that your stone is dry properly before you go ahead and apply your brush into your joint. And another thing, you don't want to go over your stone like this whenever you're doing your brush. You want to do it like this. You want to brush this direction so that way you maintain the wet joint, the wet mortar right into the joint rather than carry it over your stone if you were to go in this direction. So always this way. Whenever you're brooming it out, this way. All right. Thank you for watching as always, my people. You know your boy Ryan love you. If you get value from this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more upcoming video like this one. Be safe out there. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.